We've got quite the matchup tonight, and not just because of the talent on the field behind me, but because of the names of these teams. The Rocket City Trash Pandas versus the Montgomery Biscuits. The Trash Pandas are hot right now. They're coming into this series as the #1 team in the Southern League, and they just hit 5 home runs in the first 5 innings. I just heard a fan in the crowd yell, "We are devouring those biscuits." I gotta get to the concession stands. Yeah, you get 32 minutes in a high school basketball game, right? 25 turnovers is a lot for a college game. So if you turn the ball over 25 times, it's not a good sign. They averaged 16.6 turnovers a game coming in this. 16 is not a good number for turnovers. You want to try to keep it around 10. Yeah. For your high school, that's a really clean basketball game. It's sloppy. They're a young team. Now, Floyd knows that there's a tall task at hand in replacing Wilson as the #1 guy on the mound this year, but he is up for the challenge. And how has he handled that so far this year? He pitched a shutout in the season opener on Tuesday against Dodge County and helped lead West Lawrence to a 10-0 victory. Now, Floyd said a lot of people want to be Bradley Wilson, but you just have to play your game. Floyd's ideal game today, pitching another shutout against Morgan County. Back to you guys. This is a thing of sausage, bacon bits, sausage gravy, smoked cheddar, and scallions, and of course it's on top of a biscuit because they're playing, guess who, the Montgomery Biscuits today. They eat your opponent hot dog.
Now batting, DH number 26, Orlando Martinez.
That's pretty good, Georgia.
I think that gravy does.
Good evening, North Alabama. Let's jump to Major League Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trailed the New York Mets in the NL East on June 1st by 10.5 games. But it's been a productive summer for the Braves so far, and they were only a game and a half back heading into today's matchup. Atlanta is 30-9 since June 1st with 74 home runs during that span, if you could believe that. And here is home run number 75 from Matt Olson. He has been on fire during this Mets series solo shot. There is a top 100 golfer in Athens right now, and he is only a junior. Baker has another season after this one comes to a close. Taft, when you went out there and spoke to him, what stood out to you the most? It might be the middle of June, but there is big news in the National Football League. Former Alabama defensive back Minkah Fitzpatrick is now the highest paid safety in NFL history. Fitzpatrick inked a 4-year contract extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers that will earn him over $18 million per year. The deal also includes $36 million in guaranteed money. Fitzpatrick was a stud in Tuscaloosa, and his impressive play for the Steelers, including 2 All-Pro nods and 11 interceptions, makes him the highest paid safety in NFL football. Welcome to the latest edition of Sports Source. I'm your host, Ryan Kerley, and we're jumping right in as area high school teams start to look toward region play. Major League Soccer is coming to Huntsville in 2023. Huge breaking news for the Rocket City earlier today. Huntsville has been awarded an MLS Next Pro team that will kick off play next season. Now the MLS is coming to the Valley, but this is not going to be a major pro team like Atlanta United FC or Nashville SC. The 2022 Gunnersville Lake Hydrofest brought in competitors from all around the world. But Steve Huff is racing for something more than the Gold Cup.
We're all carrying the Faster Than Cancer Foundation moniker, and we're out here to help raise some money for a scholarship program that we've put together for youth to go to vocational and trade school trainings, and it's just a lot of fun.
Huff was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic cancer in 2020, and he started the Faster Than Cancer Foundation this year to help raise scholarship money for and inspire underprivileged and challenged children.
We're definitely proud of it, and we're so happy to be here in Gunnersville. Monday we get to go visit some people at the Cancer Center here in town. Then hopefully we get to be there at St. Jude's and visit the kids again. And
his philosophy for beating cancer or any other disease is the same as his philosophy for racing.
Don't stop. Don't stop. You don't have to win the whole game. You just got to. You don't have to beat them by a lap. You just need to beat it by a little bit. So if we can just stay a little bit ahead of this cancer that's in me and whoever else is fighting it, just take those victories one at a time. Each day is worth something. Each hour, each victory.
Huff has his oasis on the water, where he has proven to be faster than cancer.
When I put my helmet on, and everybody, the worst part about this cancer thing is knowing that you have it. but I forget about it when I put on a helmet. And I have my time, my space, and it's my sanctuary. And I just hope that others have their sanctuary and their place. And if they don't, come on out and share it with us, because we're going to be having fun. Regardless of what happens, we're going to be having fun.
High school sports are back and still rolling in Athens, but not without many new challenges. Those challenges stem from COVID-19, which put a pause on school and athletics back in March. Being a high school athletic director became a much more complicated and difficult job this school year. In addition to their normal tasks, athletic directors now have to navigate the obstacles the coronavirus presents.
Lots of limits on player participation. That's a big deal. Spectator participation. The idea of sanitation, the idea of hydration, the idea of locker rooms, team management, player meetings, post-game meetings, weight room protocol, support staff protocol, benches, sidelines. Every aspect has been dramatic.
Preventing the spread of COVID is at the forefront for most school officials. Managing how the virus has made an impact financially is also near the top of concerns for schools.
Money has been spent on a lot of different chemicals, a lot of masks, signs, just a lot of things that just so you can even come to a practice. I mean, we have to screen the kids every day, so that we had to purchase new thermometers.
Tough decisions had to be made by athletic directors and school boards to keep the operation of school sports afloat. Various programs are not receiving as much money as they usually would.
You've got wants, needs, and things with anything that you do, and right now we're really focusing on the needs over the wants.
One of the biggest losses is from a dramatic drop-off in ticket and concession sales. Some area schools have seen a 50% loss in concession revenue and close to a 30% loss in ticket revenue. Crowds are much smaller due to social distancing and fear of getting sick. Cedar Shoals raised football ticket prices from $8 to $12 to partially offset the losses. Football games that would normally draw north of 5,000 people are now only seeing around 1,000 people in the stands.
Uniforms this year is, we had to kind of say we're not going to purchase any uniforms this year, but we're constantly having to adjust, make sure that we have enough money to get through this year.
Helping to counter the financial hit from COVID, sponsors have continued supporting school sports in Athens.
Everybody's committed. Our school board sponsors are committed. Our Eagle Foundation sponsors are committed. Our businesses are still supporting us because they want to support. They want to see sports, and they want the students and the athletes to go out and compete.
The athletic directors are dealing with all sorts of unprecedented issues, but they all have a common goal: ensure high school athletes get to compete. For my reporting partner, Anna Marianne Block, I'm Ryan Kerley, Grady Sports. All right, another edition of Riding Home. Ryan Kerley here, joined by my friend Paul Feinbaum. Good to see you. How you doing, Paul?
Ryan, it just seems like yesterday we were hanging out on a cold morning in Athens, and the Dogs were number one in the country back then.
They were number one in the country. That's not the case anymore. Stetson Bennett back for year 6 or 6 trillion of his college football eligibility. You do the math. He was here at Media Days yesterday, one of the Georgia representatives, along with Nolan Smith and Cedric Van Pran. And I tell you what, he got the attention. I wish I had a picture of it so I could just throw it up there for you guys, but he got the attention of what a star quarterback in this league gets. It's these 3 teams and then everyone else. It is Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama, everyone else. And there's an argument that it's Georgia, Alabama, and everyone else. But Ohio State's up there with them because they've consistently done it. Ryan Day's a good coach. I expect those to be the top 3 teams in college football. I'll keep a defense, and this one I think is obvious and not obvious in a way. Nolan Smith. It's go time for Nolan Smith. This is his money year. He was a top 2 consensus prospect in 2019, and I don't think he's quite played up to that billing. I think he's played better than people give him credit for, but there's a lot of guys that just left. This is a double-digit sack year for Nolan Smith. Fast forward to summer. Carson Beck's the second-string guy. Fast forward to the fall. Fast forward to September of 2021. Carson Beck is JT Daniels' backup heading into the season, and heading into the UAB game, everyone thought Carson Beck was going to start. And Kirby even said himself not too long before that game that Carson Beck was JT Daniels' backup. All of a sudden, Stetson Bennett gets thrown into the game. A lot of people didn't see that one coming, and you know the rest of the story. Georgia's the national championship team. Why was Stetson Bennett starting over JT Daniels? JT comes to Georgia, JT plays well, but then JT gets hurt. Stetson Bennett gets inserted as the starter, and Georgia continues to roll over everybody, but people didn't like it. JT didn't play a significant snap after that Vanderbilt game, and Stetson Bennett helped lead Georgia to a national championship. We know Kirby Smart is one of the more secretive coaches in college football, but he's finally opened up a little bit more about the decision to keep Stetson as the starting quarterback last season. More over on dogpost.com. Breaking news in Atlanta at SEC Media Days. Kirby Smart just got the bag from Georgia, agrees to a contract extension through 2031. He's going to earn over $10 million per year coaching the Georgia Bulldogs. 6 years and a national championship later, Kirby Smart strikes gold in Athens. You have to stop reaching on quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds of fantasy drafts. I know it's going to be tempting to grab one of these guys before your friends can, but you have to wait longer. Wait a couple of extra rounds and take someone like Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, or Joe Burrow, who all finished in the top 8 for quarterbacks last season. You can even stream a reasonable option later in the season. I did that with Joe Burrow last season, and I made the playoffs in my league. Don't miss out on players like James Conner, Jalen Waddle, and A.J. Brown in the top 3 rounds because you took a quarterback. Follow me and let's win your fantasy league this year. Jamie Newman decided to transfer to Georgia before COVID broke out.
Step. Keep playing, Jamie. Keep playing. Keep playing. Come on, Jamie. We need you, baby.
Come September, it was very close to the season. Players were opting out. Jamie Newman looks at his options. He says, I'm out. And everything changed.
I'm just trying to dog pedal, stay above water here. Just trying to keep above water.
You know, that's a difficult situation with such a short turnaround to figure out, okay, well, who's going to be our QB1? Because JT Daniels is not healthy yet. Your options lie Stetson Bennett and D'Wan Mathis. D'Wan Mathis was someone that looked like, oh, wow, this guy could be really good, but he was a really raw talent at that time, and he was not ready. For all of 2020, it was really just a quarterback carousel going back and forth between D'Wan and Stetson before JT finally got cleared.
That sidelined him earlier.
JT was still the guy at that point. It was still JT's team. Stetson Bennett is a homegrown Georgia kid, you know, grew up a Georgia fan, and playing for the Dogs was his dream. He was a replacement for whenever JT was ready to play.
After shutting out number 8 Arkansas last week, the Bulldogs have their sights set on arch rival Auburn here this afternoon.
This is a big road test for Stetson Bennett. He's the starting quarterback for now. In everyone's minds, it was kind of for now.
Set up.
In the back of everyone's heads, Larry, well, when's JT going to come back? But what was in front of us was Stetson Bennett is helping them win ball games.